well, it wouldn't. See, it never occurred to me.
Is you did not repeat your pattern.
It never occurred to me that I could fail.
And that was Lola's influence. That was the influence of a good woman. She took and harnessed this guy, and women are the nest builders, and she built a nest. But it's remarkable because she allowed you to be this wild man and to hold on to your honesty and integrity and to stay the person that she admired. And that's unheard of. That's unheard of.
It's all true.
First thing women want to do is remake you to what they want you to be, what they think you should be.
Well, in a way, she did.
She gave you an incredible amount of freedom.
Well, in a way, she did.
Ken is shaking his head. Let's get into this, Ken.
No.
You differ with me.
No,
Go ahead.
I differ with you completely. Maybe many women try to shape their men, but I've been married twice. First time for 19 years, and the second time we're coming up 30 years in January. These were both women that I love dearly, and that it turned out the first one did me a very big favor, but I still love her dearly. She screwed me in and out, up and down, backwards and forwards, took every goddamn thing I had, but that doesn't do away with 19 years. The second one is just the best thing that ever happened to me. And I mean, I'm not George. I'm not anything like George. George and I probably are so completely opposite that it's remarkable, because George's main ambition always was to be a writer, and my main ambition always was to be a publisher. And by rights we should be deadly enemies, and yet I would die for that man.
Well, Lola said to me, George, you can fail if you want to, but I am not going to fail, and I have to push your ass over the finish line. You're going to get your ass over that finish line. So in a sense, the drama of Lola is that rather than to fail in her eyes and become a bullshitter, although I talk big, and one of the ways that I force myself actually to accomplish things is to brag that I'm going to do it, or that I can do it. If I brag that I can do it, at some point somebody will call me on it, and then I will do it, because I said I can do it. And he who doesn't, who takes any of my statements lightly, of anything that I say that I can do, they are mistaken. I can do it. Anything I've pretty much set my mind upon doing. Okay, now she could see that I would set my mind on doing things. And one of the things that I had my mind really set on was I was not going to be a fake in her eyes. I was not going to be able to have someone who was behind my walls, inside the fortress, be able to laugh at me when other people would say, oh yes, you're a great man, look, you, a beacon of integrity. Ha ha ha, goes the wife, was remembering all the many people you betrayed, you know. So I did not want that in my life, so I was willing to put in the extra hours every time to gain her admiration and her respect. Now it works two ways. There came a time after we'd been married 7-10 years when I found myself getting unnaturally short with her, or where she would be brief and brusque with me, and I was thinking, what in the hell is going wrong here? And I found myself asking that question, what was it, George, that you saw in her that made her so hot that you had to not only date her, take her out, make love to her, whatever, but you had to own her. She had to be yours. What was the great attraction? So I started looking at her again with really a skeptical and a kind of an analytical eye. She was hardly aware that I was doing it. But I was looking at her and I was thinking, she's generous. She's crazy, mad generous. She doesn't hold a grudge. She's forgiving. She's gentle. She's warm. She's honest. She doesn't lie. You know? Now, I started going down this little checklist of things I want in a person. I want a person I can trust. She says it's done, or she's going to do it. It's done, or she's going to do it. That rapport of trust. And I looked at her and I said, George, you're really being a goddamn fool here. What a goddamn treasure you've got on your hands here. After all of these years, she's had every chance in the world to screw you, to betray you, to fail you. Everything that you ever feared, everything that your friends go through, the things that go on behind their backs, the manipulation between the children and the mother. Don't tell Daddy, but we'll keep this little secret. Daddy will come home. He'll be the nice breadwinner. He'll go off to his job. He's unaware that we're conniving against him. I never had any of that. I had instant loyalty. She would back my play. When I would make a move with the kids, she was right there. When she would make a move with the kids, I would be right there. And the result of it was they came to trust us. They came to know that when we said it was so, it was so. That, you know, they're our friends. And also, as you say, new things in the world. The total creativity. There's only one real reason for us, any of us here, to be here, and that's to be creative. We were given a totally malleable universe. We can turn this into this, and we can turn this into this. We're so skillful that there's no in the invisible reality. Most of reality is totally invisible. We have tracked down that invisible reality. We call it gravity. We call it electricity. We call it a lot of things. You can't even lay your hands on it. It'll knock you across the room. We don't know what it is, but we know how to trap it and control it, manage it, box it in, guide it, lead it. Now, here we are, capable of transforming everything into everything, the whole world being totally capable of being creatively adapted and changed. Our whole purpose is to understand these things, to come to realize the fact that it is an infinitely alive thing. Everything is totally conserved. Everything is totally conserved. Nothing falls out of the universe. You know, this is a world you cannot get out of. It's quite clear to me, spiritually, physically, there is no death, there is no dying, there is no being born. There is just always and forever, and it's called now, and every instant as it's being reborn real flesh. This flesh has died and reborn 600 billion times a goddamn second here. On, off, whatever the hell is going on in this universe is too big to think about, too mysterious to be pigeonholed or understood. And I, through my ability to understand language, see, language, the English language, the most flexible, the most powerful tool in the world. No other language can do the subtle things this language can do, and so for that reason it has become the key lingo of the language of the world, and that is because it's capable of utilizing language and words and meanings and syntax and jokes. I say to you, don't tell her, she'll hit the roof. You know what I mean? It's worse than there'll be hell to pay. Don't tell her there'll be hell to pay. Don't tell her she'll hit the roof. You know what that means, and what does that mean, and just exactly what are we saying about the woman that she's capable of hitting the roof over this or that, depending upon the triviality of it. Don't tell her you've got gum on your shoe, she'll hit the roof. God, what an intolerant lady. Those little words, hit the roof, and you've got a sentence. Now, to make an entire book out of sentences that have never, ever been written before, you know,
This sensitivity that you have is rare. It makes you unique. It makes you the one that's on the other end of the video camera instead of the cameraman or somebody else. You realize that you're a very special individual.